Leadership, integrity, dedication, the same traits voters seek on Election Day are the ideals by which Wolf Block, a multi-practice law firm, has provided legal services for more than a century. For more information about Wolf Block, visit wolfblock.com today.
From KYW 1060 Philadelphia, this is Breakfast with the Candidates. For the first time in the Philadelphia mayoral campaign, 5 Democrats seeking their party's nomination are gathered for a live broadcast debate in our Independence Mall studios. Taxes, city services, Philadelphia's plague of violent crime, all of the issues are on the table for the next hour. Breakfast with the Candidates is brought to you exclusively by the law firm Wolf Block. Now, with KYW City Hall Bureau Chief Mike Dunn and reporter Steve Tawa, here's your moderator, KYW Special Contributor Larry Kane.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to Breakfast with the Candidates here live on KYW News Radio 1060. It's a pleasure to have with us Bob Brady, Dwight Evans, Shaka Fatah, Tom Knox, and Michael Nutter. As they said, Steve Tawa and Mike Dunn are here. This is the way it's going to work this morning, very, very succinctly. 60-second questions to the candidates here today, 60-second answers. The reporters reserve the right to interrupt the questions, answers if the mayoral candidates are not giving specifics. We want specifics here. Then there will be 30-second retorts, 30 seconds each. I will keep the time. I'll be the time clock here this morning and the traffic cop, and we're going to move along. And our first question on Breakfast with the Candidates is Mike Dunn to Bob Brady.
Congressman John Street was reelected mayor of Philadelphia in 2003 after top Democrats, including yourself and most prominently yourself, pushed the theory that the FBI investigation of Mayor Street was a Bush White House plot. Months after the election, about 8 months later, you admitted to Philadelphia Magazine that that claim was nonsense. You said, quote, "I was just spinning the expletive." We can't use this word on the radio, but it is 4 letters. "I was just spinning the bull," we'll say, and it worked. So 4 years ago, sir, you admitted that you had manipulated voters to keep your party's nominee in power then, and now this past Friday, the mastermind of your political campaign, of your mayoral campaign, has resigned after admitting that he had laid the groundwork for a covert anti-Tom Knox committee. So, Congressman, unfortunately for many, all of this smacks as politics as usual in Philadelphia. But my question is this: why should voters believe you when you say you are the candidate of change based on all of this?
First of all, that's not true. When I talked to the FBI would neither confirm or deny whether or not they put a bug in his office. Later on, way later on, months later in the campaign, after I tried to, with my colleague Shaka Fatah and Joe Hoffel, tried to talk to Mr. Ashcroft to find out what happened, met with him, tried to meet with him down at 6th Street, went to the Bellevue to talk to him. They wouldn't talk to us. Nobody would talk to us. And I was offended that they would do that, not give us an explanation whether or not they did or not bug our mayor's office.
So what did you mean when you said I was just spinning the ball?
That's a reporter reporting something that sometimes you're not quite accurate.
Well, I have the article right here,
the article was the article. I don't care about an article.
So you're denying you said that, sir?
No, I'm telling you what I said. After months later, when we found out that it wasn't happening, that it wasn't true, that the FBI did not bug the mayor's office for reasons to try to do something with our mayor.
So at the time you believed...
Can I answer the question or you want to talk? I'll wait for you.
Go ahead.
And after I found out that they did not do it, and then they said to me, "What are you going to clarify it now?" I said, "No, it's already done. The mayor got reelected. The election's over." Then I was asked, "Well, are you spinning something?" I said, "I don't know what you're talking about, spinning anything. I just reported what the FBI would not confirm or deny." When you're a politician and there's an accusation by somebody about an FBI, happened to me already, and what they said was there was no allegation whatsoever. But when an FBI comes to you and says publicly, we neither can confirm or deny, that leaves a lot of suspicion out there. And that got us a little disturbed. And we went full force to try to get them to say something. They finally did after it was over.
Okay,
we'll get do it during the campaign.
We'll get the retorts now. Dwight Evans.
First thing, Larry, I say this to you. Obviously, I didn't have anything to do with it, nor any kind of involvement. But I think what most people are interested in hearing is how we're going to make our streets safe. I've pushed for change. That's kind of how we came up with a change in the police department with John Timothy. In terms of the school district, I pushed for change. That's how we came up with Paul Vallis. So I think we have to have change, but the change has to mean something to the people of the city of Philadelphia. Policing and education are two areas where I push for reform.
Shaka Fatah.
Well, I think that what we need to do is focus now on the challenges in our city. John Street is not a candidate in this race. And I think that the interesting thing I'm interested in terms of the FBI is they say that 47% of all juvenile crime is happening between 2 and 6 o'clock Monday to Friday. We're going to set up an after-school program for every single teenager in our city, make sure they have a safe place to go.
Congressman, if I could, on the question, though, you had joined Congressman Brady 4 years ago, along with Joe Huffle, in espousing this theory that helped get John Street reelected. Were you spinning at the time? Did you believe this was indeed a Bush White House plot?
Well, as you might be aware, 8 U.S. attorneys have been fired across the country. There's absolute political interference. Senator in New Mexico calling in the late of night, trying to push indictments on Democrats. The notion that the Bush White House is not involved in politics in the Justice Department, I think you need to look at the facts. And what I said then is anyone who's done anything wrong should be face the full force of the law. But we should not have, and in fact it's in the regulations of the Justice Department, interference in political elections.
Mike, we're not going to interrupt the retorts here, only the original questions. Tom Knox.
Well, Larry, it's politics as usual in Philadelphia. I want to bring in a new era to Philadelphia with my candidacy, and I want to bring in a new, real, and meaningful change to Philadelphia with my candidacy. These types of things won't happen when I'm mayor.
Michael Nutter.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you, Mike. As the person who has brought reform from an ethics standpoint to the city in the aftermath of the FBI investigation, I think I'm best suited to make sure that these kinds of things don't happen in the future. Campaign contribution limits that are now in place for those who do business with the city, Board of Ethics that has been active and vigorous during the course of this election, as well as making sure that our contracts are given out in a way that is open and transparent, all up on the city's website and available for anyone to take a look at. And so those are the kinds of things that I did when I was in city council. I'll make sure that the government is run in a fair, open, and transparent fashion.
Steve Tawa has a question for Dwight Evans.
Representative Evans, many believe that the state legislature and only Harrisburg holds the answer to the city's gun violence problem. Yet the Commonwealth has neither enacted stricter gun laws nor allowed the city of Philadelphia to make its own gun laws. You're a leading member of the state legislature and wield considerable influence, of course, as chairman of the Appropriations Committee. If you're serious about solving the violence issue, wouldn't it be more effective if you stayed as a state lawmaker? How do you explain to voters you can better solve this enormous problem here rather than there?
Because it has not been solved at the city level currently. In my view, the current administration or anybody who's running on this panel doesn't have necessarily the skill set necessary to do what I think in terms of getting the law. The second thing I say this to you, Steve, if you look at Governor Rendell has come out, the first governor ever, who's made a very definitive position about gun policy. He's made that a part of his agenda. So I think the climate is changing. There are other mayors around the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania who are prepared to step forward. So I believe with my knowledge of Harrisburg, with the leadership that I can provide with other mayors around the Commonwealth, with Ed Rendell as governor, I believe we can attract this issue. Let me just say this to you. 52nd and Market is the hottest spot in the city of Philadelphia in terms of the violence that is occurring. It is outrageous to me that can occur in a major city the way it is today and the number of murders that has happened in a major area. Now, it's unfortunate, Steve, that particular neighborhood, which is African American, that there's not the level of outrage that should occur. So I'm at a point where I'm saying to you that I've decided to run for mayor because I know I can do it and will do it as I've done in my own neighborhood.
Shaka Fatah.
Well, I spoke to the illegal gun summit of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Mayor Daley, Mayor Bloomberg, some 100 other mayors across the country. I think we need to work together. Here in Philadelphia, I've established a moratorium program with the Philadelphia Police Department on this Saturday. We collected in total now over 1,000 guns from Philadelphians who are able to turn in guns, no questions asked, through the Citizens Crime Commission, a tip line, so that people can report criminals who have guns and win a $1,000 reward. I think we need to act now, not wait for the cavalry from Harrisburg to come.
Tom Knox.
Larry, last summer I went on TV for 6 weeks, got 80,000 people to sign my petition asking for Philadelphia to have its own gun laws. I took it up to Harrisburg. The governor embraced it, took it over to the legislature, told them to embrace it. They took it, threw it in the trash can. If more legislatures had spent more time listening to their conscience and less time listening to the NRA, I think Philadelphia could have its own gun laws, but I haven't given up.
Michael Nutter.
Larry, I think it would be great if the General Assembly would pass strict gun laws, reasonable gun laws for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as well as allow Philadelphia to enact its own gun laws. But in the meantime, what I've proposed as a mayoral candidate and what I would do as mayor of the city is implement the plan that I've laid out called Safety Now. We cannot wait. There is a sense of outrage in the community, up over 130 plus murders in this city, 406 last year. Everyone knows the statistics. What we need to do is take action that we can take now. The mayor has certain powers under the Philadelphia Code and the ability to direct the police department to make our city safe right now.